So, most people's decks are that about that thick, 60 cards. This deck is about twice that. And there's no good reason to do that. There's one. There was a person who had a card that said if you had 200 cards in your deck, you win the game. You had to play that card, which costs like 5 or 6, I think. And then if you did, that was it. Of course, you had to find that card within your deck. And your deck couldn't just have 200 cards. You'd have to have like 250. I think the guy's deck had 260 cards, which is over twice as thick as this. So it just has to be rifling through and search and all sorts of stuff like that and getting it out as fast as possible. That's one thing. The other thing is mill decks, especially if your point is going to mill everybody all at the same time. You want to make sure you don't mill putting cards in the graveyard before other people. A classic way to mill would be the worry beads, which is at the beginning of the upkeep, everybody puts one card in the grave. But then the new and one of the best ways is Mesmeric Orb. Having 4 of these is pretty funny. When anybody untaps anything, they put a card in the graveyard, and of course this stacks. So let's say you use 3 lands, you untap a couple creatures, and there's 2 or 3 of these in play. That could be 10 to 15 cards that are going in your graveyard, which is about 1/4 of your library just for that turn. Other ways to do it are classics, like having people discard their entire hand and draw 7 cards, which can be very scary, giving them lots of options, but also giving you options at the same time. Forced Fruition, whenever any opponent plays a spell, they draw 7 cards. And of course, you can only have like at the end of your turn, 7 cards in your hand. Otherwise, you got to dump everything else. To keep yourself safe, you have stuff like Thalden's Cane, which puts your library back in your puts your graveyard back in your library, or the same thing with Reminisce. But now you gotta keep yourself protected, so you have cards like, no, I'm just showing you a few things. Evacuation, which returns all creatures to their owner's hands, or Devastation Tide, which has a miracle, return all non-land permanents to their owner's hand. You can play this for 2 at best, 5 at most, which is the same as Evacuation. Legacy's Allure, which slowly gains counters until you grab a creature. Veldekin Shackles allows you to gain creatures depending on how many islands you have. So you're going to grab, there's a whole lot of like enchant permanents, grabbing other people's stuff. You're going to use their stuff. You're not going to worry about having stuff in your deck. There's some creatures, but not really that many. Mostly it's just about milling, searching for the mill cards, keeping stuff from attacking you, and bouncing the stuff back if it tries. And then near the end, just for fun, while everything's going on, Eternal Dominion, which is really funny. Eternal Dominion, some people look down on these epic spells because they say it's boring, but I mean, at this point, that's 10 mana, especially for a blue deck, so you played 10 turns already. This just allows you to start playing cards from their library, which is what you want. You want to use their library. You want to knock as many things out as possible so they have no cards left, and that's it. And that means I wouldn't be playing cards at all anymore, and my library has been safe. just rest. That was the ocean. Did you enjoy it? Good night.